Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, I'm going to share with you TxDOT's full-year payment management plan using Agile's tool, which is a Pavement Analyst. So before I dive in, I just want to give you a little bit introduction regarding our management system histories. So we had a contract with Agile 2014, start doing implementation to replace our mainframe legacy system. So the project, it took us 18 months to implement system. So the system went live statewide in 2016. This is actually our second year to use the system. All right, this afternoon I'm going to go over mainly that 5 parts. The first, I'm going to go over the objectives of our full-year payment management plan, and then show you what is the timeline for the plan and some of the data entry requirement, the tables and maps in the payment analyst, and some of the analysis tool we've been using to do the plan. So this payment management plan actually is our legislative requirement. It's called Rider 55. The TxDOT is required to reporting performance based on the planned project. So in the past, before we have the payment analyst, and we cannot really do it in-house. So we have a contract with one of our universities to ask them to help us to do the predictions based on the plan. So after we have a system in place in 2017, and we are able to producing the predicted results based on the plan. So we made a switch, and this is our second year and doing that. So the objective of the full-year payment management plan is to develop a comprehensive payment management plan which are location-specific and financially constrained. So like what I mentioned, and basically we need to predict the payment performance and using the financial constraint plan, and then assess the impact of appropriate fundings by the legislature. And in that way, and we know all of the maintenance resources are direct towards the payment operations and some roadway-related works instead of something else. So that way, we have to put our payment in good repair. And then this also providing a tool or reporting mechanism for our district engineers, administrations, and commission, and they can communicate with taxpayers and legislators regarding how the money is with spending. At the same time, and it allows the district and the regions to appropriately allocate the resources through the long-term planning phase. So normally, this full-year plan is required every year for every district. So they normally starting working on the plan, say January. So the preliminary plan is due by the end of May. Starting the first 2 weeks of June, all the districts need to bring in their full-year plan to one of the committees for review. So after the review, they go back and to revise their plan. The final plan is due by the end of June. And we, our office as a maintenance division, and we starting working on our report. The report is due August 1st, and the final one is due by the end of August. So this is our timeline. When we talk about full-year plan, and I just want to give you examples what we talk about, and say now we are in the 2018, the full year we talk about is 19, 20, 21, and 22. For the first 2 years, when the district puts in their plan, it's required to be project specific, which means has to have a location and also the estimated cost. But for the year 3 and year 4, and those projects can have the money allocated at the county and the maintenance level. It doesn't require, it has to be location specific. But we do encourage the district put in the location specific project so that way, they get better predictions, and then they manage their roads better. Especially for the district, they have a very good seal coat project, a seal coat program. So they normally put in the year 3 and year 4 project really well. So in order for the payment analyst to do any of the analysis, and we do require the district put in the project information like highways, county, roadbed directions, and locations. So in the past, we did have some issues regarding the data is not in consistent format. So we had a webinar every year to go over what kind of data format they need to put in when they enter those projects. And one of the big thing is the treatment level. We have 5 treatment levels in the payment analyst, and we give very clear definition regarding which belongs to what. So this slide is showing what belongs to routine maintenance. Those routine maintenance normally is maintained in our maintenance management system. It's also Agile's product. So those are items which are related to the payments. So we give those lists to the district so they know those belong to the routine maintenance. Similarly, we have a treatment level definition for the flexible payments. You can see for the preventive maintenance, we have a seal coat, thin overlay, 2 inches thicker or less, mill inlay 2 inches or less, and hot in-place recycling, micro surfacing. And for the lead rehab, we have overlay between 2 and 4 inches, mill and inlay 2 and 6. So medium rehab, and we do have a similar definitions for the heavy rehab, similar thing. So this is a consistent for all 25 districts. They get the same definition. There's no guessing work regarding which one belongs to what. We have a similar thing for our concrete CRCP, and you can see we have a very detailed regarding which one belongs to what. All right, and we have similar thing for the jointed concrete pavements. I'm just gonna run through this, and you can see it's consistent. Right, I'm gonna jump through this. So we talk about the first 2 weeks, and the district come to one of the 4-year plan review. So what's included in that review meetings? And we normally, the committee gonna review all the construction project. Those construction projects are more like pavement, maintenance and rehabilitation project, which are using our UTP funding. And those projects are maintained in one of our systems. It's called DCIS. I'm going to go over that a little bit later. For the maintenance project, which are maintained in the our MMS system, those are using a separate pile of money. So this is mainly the routine maintenance and some of the in-house work and the contract out maintenance work. So in addition to the construction project and the maintenance project, we also require district have what we call surface age map. I don't know about other state DOTs, and we have some challenges to get and maintain our work history. So this is a challenge for a lot of the district, and this is the first year we are doing some sort of like a combination between automated way and also like a manual way to make it happen in the system. The last part is we do review the skid data and the wide surface crash reduction report. So that is more like a safety related like project, and we put our skid data and also the crash data together. So that's part of a review. In order to make this happen, and the PA is interfaced with 3 other systems inside TxDOT. One is DCIS, it's our Design Construction Information System. This system maintains all the planning, programming, and development project. All the project is required to put into the system for letting. So we interface with that system, and we also interface with maintenance management system. That system maintains all the routine maintenance project. The last is a crash data records, and that system has detailed crash data. And in addition, our traffic operation division reports the high crash locations, and we also pull those information into the system. So those are the system, the database, and we interface with. Here is what it looks like in the system. This is a DCIS project table. So when the data come in from the DCIS and to the pavement analyst, the district users can check in this window to see there's anything missing because they do not enter the data into pavement analyst. They enter the data into a different system. So they come to this table to check what I have for my planned project. So they will see their years, their locations, their costs, all the treatment levels in here. So similarly, for the maintenance project, and they do see their project for the location, the cost, and even what activities and locations. So for those of the data from different systems, and we, from January to February, we update every week. And then from March to May, which are the time when the district actively working on their plan, and we pull the data on the daily basis. So basically, they go into different, DCIS and Compass, enter their data, and the next morning when they come in, they will see the changes in the pavement analyst. Right? So one of the things we added here is we have this invalid location project table. The reason is when we work with the district in the past, we heard the feedback from them. They say, okay, I entered the data into other system. Why I cannot see it in pavement analyst? Most likely it's because some of the location information is incorrect. It could be there's a gap on the network definition or other issues. We do have this table and they can go in to check. If any of the project is on this table, they know there's a location issue, they can go back to the either DCIS and Compass and fix it, and then next day it will come back and showing in this table and also on the map. All right, so now we move on the third item for the surface edge map. So we have challenges in the past, but this is a required item for the review. What can we help the district to really have this done? Last year the district had their own ways to put together the surface edge map, and different districts have the different way how to do it. We've been, since 2014, figured out a way to implement it, automated way to pull the work history data automatically from a different data source like Site Manager and the DCIS. But we wasn't really able to pull majority of the project. This is the first time try. We basically combine 3 data resources, which is from a Site Manager and also DCIS last year's project and to this surface edge table. And we do have the third resources, which is back to the mainframe time. We did have a table which allowed the district manually enter in their work history data. It was a very tedious and time-consuming process. Not many districts actually did that. It's just the 2 or 3 districts, did part of it. And we did migrating all of the data from the legacy system to the new system. So in addition to that, we add this Site Manager data, for the work history, and also we add the data more like a planning side for the DCIS for your plan project, especially the last years. We consolidate those 3 resources together and then put it into the surface edge table. So forward for the future, our plan is when the district puts in their data in the DCIS, and then the next year will be archived automatically into this table. All they have to do is they're going to go to one of the PA tables. They're going to go review those data. I know you may not be able to see it, but basically the district can have access access to this table. They can make editing regarding whether the project location is correct or not, or the dates is correct or not, and also what type of work they put for that location. So this will cut significantly amount of work the district gonna do just to manually enter the work history data. We hope this will help the district not just to see their surface edge on the map, and also it's gonna improve them during the planning process to know, if they have a seal coat program, 7-year cycle, and they know, okay, when they did it, the seal coat on which section. So the last piece for the review is the crash data and wide surface crash reduction program. We have two tables in the Pavement Analyst. One is the crash data, another is wet surface crash reduction data. The crash data is from crash data for each individual accidents. It's recording every single thing regarding the weather, location, and what is a major contributor. And then we have this wet surface crash reduction data, which is mainly highlighting the segments which has more like wet surface crash accidents. So we pull those together. Now we talk about like data tables in the Pavement Analyst. And we all know the Pavement Analyst also have a really good functionality for mapping. And we do utilize that for our 4-year plan, this same. And this is one of the map examples we have. You know this map is pretty busy, and we're trying to lay all of the project on top of our scores. And since we pull 4 years from a DCIS and 4 years from a Compass, and we have this very big fat layers, we have more than 20 layers on this map. So the district can choosing any combinations between any year's project and on top of any year's, mainly 2 years of scores, and also ADT, like a traffic information. Here, we do pull the current year's routine maintenance here. The main reason is we want to encourage the district to do good seal coat prep work. So for the next year's seal coat project, we want the district to do, to put the location-specific information so they can get evaluated on that. So this is like inside of a PA, when they are trying to review, and they can print a big size of a map for the 4-year plan to use any of the combinations. They just need to click the button and they get the PDF. So it's very easy to use. This is a surface edge map. When data comes in, they can get their surface edge map just to click the button. So we worked with the district, and some of them have maintain the Excel spreadsheet outside of system, and we are helping them to load those data in automatically into the system. Hopefully, for the future years, they do not need to maintain any of those work history data outside of the PA. Everything will be automated. All they needed to do, if any of the changes happens during last year, like some of the planned project get postponed or fast-forwarded, and they can just go in there, query by the project CSJ, and then make changes and be done with it. So we have this ski data and wet surface crash map. This map has the statistics for the highlighted high wet surface crash sites and also the ski data. So we have a 4-year ski data on here. They can pick and choose any combinations they want. So the main reason we have a 4 years is because for the ski data, we do not collect 100% every year. We only collect 50% for our interstates and 25% for our non-interstates. Okay, we talk about the tables and maps. Now we're gonna move on the core part, which is the optimization. The data come in as a project. And in the Pavement Analyst, and we do have performance models and the decision tree set it up. And the performance model was calibrated based on our historical data. And the decision trees, we work with the district to really adjust the decision trees to make sure the outcomes are really consistent with what they want. Once the project come into the system, and the district can go into this optimization module, and they can set up their objective and then put in those constraints. We have 254 counties, and for this, I think Eric Prong create a procedure for us. You basically just right-click it, and it will load all of those 254 counties automatically for you. So it's so easy for the district people, and they just need to go in there and set up this scenario. They can click run, and they can see their predicted performance right there. So For this optimization analysis, like what I mentioned, for the year 1 and year 2, they have a project location specific information, but year 3 and year 4, since they have just money allocated for the county or the maintenance sections, the pavement analyst is going to run through the optimization recommended project for that district and then produce the predictions for the scores. This is some examples in the pavement analyst, which are, anybody can pull. It's more like a reports. We have those train line charts, some of the tables. This one shows what we have regarding the performance. We have before 2017, that line is measured performance. After that, from 18 to 2021, we have performance under the 4-year plan project. You can see the system are kind of stable and going down slightly. And you see that red line here, it's mainly, I'm trying to figure out how to use it. This is a scenario we run if we don't have any money, and what is overall system performance. You can see it's taking the nosediving. So this is another report, and all the users can see. And this is more like a tabular report, and it predicts, it summarizes the predicted scores for the next 4 years for the statewide and also for every district. Right. So the district can also pull a report which showing the statewide line and also the predicted results for their own district. And you can see here, and the bottom one it actually is for the statewide, and then the top line is for one of the district for their predicted performance. So they can do this by the district and also the county level. So in addition to those tabular and tree lines, you all know the pavement analyst can also summarize results by total treated lane miles for those 4 treatment levels, like preventive maintenance and light rehab, medium, and heavy. You can see from a TxDOT side, and we do a lot of the PM work, especially here. Those are for year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. And we do also have light rehab, medium rehab. It's kind of really a good mix there. So this bar chart, similarly, all the district, they can go pull by the district level, county level, and maintenance section level. So it's easy for them to really, toss and dice in different ways to look at their planned project. Another way to look at it is this, and we do have the results summarized by what is the current condition, and what is the planned treatment. And you see we do a lot of treatment on the pavement which are in the good or better condition. For us, it's condition score 70 or above. And you see we do keep our good pavement good, and also we repair the fair and poor and very poor pavement. So that way we improve the performance, but it keep the good ones are there. All right, I would say this is really a team effort. We have people on the implementation team from Agile, and also we have people over here like Magdi, Joe Kim, Feng Hong on the team. I will say really thank you for their help for implementing this in Pavement Analyst. So that's all my presentation part. Any questions?
For those of the audience that have questions, if you just wait for me, so we have people at live stream, I'll try to be.
I have a couple of questions. The first one is, if I understood correctly, for the first 2 years, the plans are done by the district manually and then input into PMIS, and then the optimization takes on for the second 2 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question I had was on the slide with the treatment lane miles versus the years, the 4 years. Mm-hmm. Last couple of slides, yeah, there. I noticed that the treatments were going down over time. Is that because of reduced budgets, or is that what the pavement analyst predicts?
This is a good question. So this is what happened for the year 1 and year 2, and district knows their budget for sure, and they kind of know what they are planning to do. they're actively putting the project and the money into the system, I mean, into both DCS and Compass, what we call that's also a maintenance management system, a Compass. But for the year 3 and year 4, most of the time the district don't really know, what they're gonna plan to do, and some of the districts choose to put much less project for the year 3 and year 4. So that's why you see not only the number of a project is less, and also the money and they put it in the system is also less. So we encourage them to put more project in there, but in reality, because they're not really sure 100% and they're hesitating to put some of the project in there. But they can, they can always use the system to run the optimization and to say, I have this much of money and this is how many lane miles it's gonna get treated. After they run through this payment analyst with money in year 3 and year 4, just based on how much they put it, and some of the project which is not location specific, and then PA gonna recommend a project for them.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to add to the question, to the answer from Jenny. Sometimes the districts don't update the placeholders for years 3 and 4.
No, I think that is. Any other questions? Any question, live stream? Yeah, Derek.
Well, I guess this is a question for both you and Brandy. Is there a feedback loop between this and Compass? So, like, Compass you put in projects you'd like to do. After the analysis is run, do you get an approved list of projects from that, or is everything good to go?
I would say, the approval is not from a payment analyst or from the DCS or the Compass. It's mainly the district. They maintain what is project get approved, and they put into the DCS. And the DCS have a place, and if it get funded, it will change as a funded there, and then put it on the lighting schedule and going on from there.
And from the maintenance management system side, we're not really, they'll go in the next year and modify it. So if projects got pushed forward, then they'll do that manually in the system. We don't have a list of approved projects in MMS either.
Any other question? All right, well, thank you, Jenny and TxDOT.